organizing, leading, and controlling. Those 4 words are essential to know in today's society. We need to know what they mean, but more importantly, we need to know how they can help us become more successful. Every day, my company, Canada's Investments, is becoming more and more successful. Today specifically, I'm here to teach, show, and inform you with the information and the knowledge I know that helped me become successful, that is going to help each and every one of you become more successful. The 4 terms I previously read out to you are the 4 key words in the managerial process. I will be going into depth on not all 4, but 2 of the most important ones I believe everyone needs to know. I will be talking about planning and controlling. I will be telling you what they mean, and I will be explaining how you can use them to help you become more successful. We're going to start off with planning. Planning's definition is setting performance objectives and deciding how to achieve them. Good planning is essential in today's fast-paced and ever-changing world. Planning provides different benefits to an organization. Some of those benefits include 1, flexibility. Planning will allow flexibility to help an organization adapt to new change. The second one is coordination. A plan will ensure that all individuals are working at a unified goal. And 3 is time management. Planning allows individuals to prioritize their work. And most importantly, I think this is the one that everyone needs to know. This is a big one because if you can't prioritize your work and manage your time, the time you spend planning is going to be 1, stressed, and 2, your plans are going to be delayed because you haven't prioritized your time properly. An example of a certain way to plan is using a SWOT analysis chart. A SWOT analysis chart is used to lay out your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and your threats. And you can visualize what things need to be worked on and what things don't need to be as much worked on, so you can stay on the road to success. There's an example of a company that has used a SWOT analysis chart, and the CEO of Money Crashers, Andrew Sarge, said that it allowed him to identify the key areas in his organization that was performing on a high level versus the things that were performing on a low level, to see what needed improvement more than other areas. I'm going to bring you into my next topic of controlling. So when I was a kid, and I don't think I was the only one who ever went through this, I had a best friend who was extremely controlling. Whenever we would go out for recess, she made me the dad and she had to be the mom. I was the kid and she was the bigger sister that told me what to do. She was the teacher, I was the student. She always needed to be above me. And I never understood why. Not until now. Now, I believe that because she knew how to control, she wanted to control, that will make her ever more successful in life. Taking control, its definition is pretty much just measuring performance and taking action to ensure your desired results, making sure that you're achieving what you want to achieve. I want you to know that taking control is okay and it is nothing to be embarrassed about. When I think of someone who is extremely successful but maybe a little controlling, I think of Steve Jobs. He is the first person that comes to my head. Even though I didn't know the guy, I have learned about him and I know that he was an extremely controlling man. He didn't want anyone telling him what to do. He didn't want anyone running his company. He wanted to make sure he knew what was going on and he was in charge of everything, or else he would lose it. He was very much considered an autocratic leader. But other than the fact that Apple is one of the biggest companies in the world, what people don't understand is when you have control and you know how to use it properly, you have such passion and it almost isn't worth giving up or anything under those terms. I want you to know, like I said, controlling is an okay thing to know how to do. So I'm going to teach you the 4 steps of the controlling process. First one is you need to set performance objectives. 2, measure actual and accurate, and I'm going to repeat myself, accurate goals. They need to make sense and they need to be realistic. 3, you need to compare performance against established standards. And 4, you need to take corrective action. If something went wrong, you need to make sure you go back and fix it. Don't leave it or else it's not going to work. And when everything exceeded the way to plan, then take that time for some positive reinforcement, not only for yourself, but for your employees. Another thing I want to talk about is an example of the managerial control. One specifically is the management by objectives, it is also known as the MBO. So the management by objectives is a technique integrated the planning and controlling functions. Its intent is to make sure everyone knows what they are doing and clear about what they are doing, but also know the benefits. So it's like when you show up to a class you know you hate when you're a student, and you have to write a speech or do an essay, or you have to study for a big test or a big final, and then once it's done, you forget about everything you knew. And you probably would have been able to exceed a little bit more if you were more interested in it. So if everyone understands what they are doing, it will be that much easier to become successful. So this process includes 5 steps. So the first one is to set and review organizational objectives. 2 is you need to educate future employees. 3, encourage goal setting. 4, you need to monitor your process. And 5, you need to evaluate and reward yourself. Always remember to reward yourself, or else you're not going to do it again. And if you don't do it again, you're not going to become as successful. Controlling is an extremely straightforward process. It's to make sure that your plans are achieved. And that is why I'm talking about planning and controlling, because they intertwine with each other. You are making sure that your plans are achieved through controlling. Planning is the first thing you need to take into consideration. Without it, you have nothing to organize, you have nothing to lead, and you have nothing to control. When it comes to controlling, you need to know how to take control. You need to know it's okay to take control if you're doing it properly. I'm going to finish off saying this. When my parents previously owned this company, and I had that gut feeling that I was going to one day take over, I told my mom, or I asked my mom, I should say, how do you become so successful? What did you do to become successful? And she simply said, confidence. No matter what, if you have confidence, you can achieve anything. So when you leave today and you think you have the confidence to plan and control, you have already left this building 10 times more successful than you did when you entered it. Thank you.